Hey everyone. Who's all here? Anyone? No. All right, I am going to share this to my... Hey Clifton. Thanks for coming. I'm starting a little early so we can chit chat. Actually, I'm just trying to get some of this mechanical stuff done before we get started. Hey, Scott. So, we'll get started in just a minute. Hey, Albert. All right, we got about 2 minutes. Hey, John. All right. I'm just gonna make sure that that worked. I do this every time, so you guys should be used to it by now. And then I'll tell you all about my microphone dilemma. So it was quite the, the ordeal. Yeah, all right. Hey Mark, hey everyone. All right, so it's almost time, so we can get started. I just wanted to thank everyone for coming to Cape Cod Color. So it's the 7th live cast that I've done this season, and you can definitely tell that it's Labor Day because my energy level is a little lower after getting through the season. It's been really busy here in town the last few weeks, and it actually has felt, at least as far as the amount of stamina that I've had to have to get through it, it's felt like a normal season, which is really good. So, but normally by this time of year, I'm ready for things to calm down a little. And so this is Labor Day weekend we're running into, and hopefully it will be a nice busy weekend here in Provincetown. So I have a lot of pieces to show you tonight that are body of work. Hey Tina, it's called Cape Cod Color. And if you remember in my first show this season, that was called S6 because it was all about surf, sea, and sky. I did a piece that was called Cape Cod Color, and it was kind of like one of the focal points of the show. And so I've just really expanded on that. I've taken photographs that I've taken over the years and even recently of just the beautiful skies here and the amount of color that comes to life, especially around sunset and sunrise. And I've just painted those. So some of them are a little more expressive, some of them are kind of gestural, some of them are a little more detailed, and I'll get into that when I get through the body of work. So it was 2 weeks ago, I did the live cast where I was showing you how I drew the Provincetown Vista drawing, and I set the camera up differently, thinking that, you know, the forward, reverse, and everything that I get so confused with would be easier. But what I didn't realize was that to talk to you, I needed to get to the other side of the table, and I was so far away, you couldn't hear what I was saying from a distance. And so I did all this, well, not a lot of research. I did a little bit of research around like those headsets that have a microphone built in, and there were some that were wired and some that weren't, and it just got really complicated. And so I'm, you know, shopping for these online, and then this one pops up that's like, oh, it's, you know, rated fabulous, all these great reviews, and it's only $39. So I bought that one, and I'll tell you, it kind of sucks. It doesn't really do anything. Like if I step away from the phone, it doesn't follow me. Like, I don't know why the microphone is not working or doesn't pick up, and then I just didn't have time to like troubleshoot it all. So I posted a photo on both my studio page and my personal accounts on Facebook and Instagram and asked for everyone's advice, like what's the best. And so apparently I need to buy the Apple AirPod Pros that are like $5,000 now. But I am going to do that so you'll be able to hear me better. But tonight I'm going to do this much like I did a lot of the other earlier ones, where I'm going to be fairly close to the camera all the time, whether I'm in the screen or not in the screen. Hey Mark, you wanted me to be wearing that? Yeah, it didn't work. So I'm not using it, but I will hopefully have the AirPods for the next one. So I'm just going to stay close to the mic, and if at any point you can't hear, just scream, type in, that I need to get closer, and I will. So Cape Cod color, I have 9 pieces to show you. This is the first piece. Let me make sure I talked about everything else. Yes, so I love this body of work. I love how all of it came out, and I really love the way it looks hung. And you're gonna see one piece at a time, but maybe at the end I can spin the camera around so you can just see the show in its entirety, because it's really beautifully curated. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but the way that it kind of flows from one piece into the other. Sometimes it really works out, and sometimes it doesn't work out as well. So I'm really loving that tonight, the way the room looks. So the first piece is called Cranberry Sky, and I'm gonna take you closer to see it. I used this piece for much of the promotion of the show. So so you've seen it. I'm sure it was in the newspaper this weekend. It's been on the invites to this event, and it has been in the window here for I don't know, a couple weeks since I sent out the press releases. So anyway, all of these pieces are up on my online store, and the link is in this description, and you can click on any of these and just buy it, except for this one because it was bought a couple days ago, because it's here in the front of the studio. So it's not available anymore, but it's a view of Race Point, and I took this photo that I used for inspiration for this right after kind of a storm cleared and the sun was going down. And I just love the way it lit kind of the darker clouds, and you can see the kind of highlight that happens. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit just so you can see some of that. But yeah, I love the way the color turned out, and it really made me think about the color cranberry, hence the name, Cranberry Sky. So that piece is 24 by 24. So it's one of the larger pieces in the body of work. So who's all here? Hey, Jose. All right, so I'm gonna move the camera to the next piece. So this piece is called Splendor. And this is also a piece that you may have seen before, because this was included in, oh, how nice, you can see my shadow of my head. Oh, geez. You would think I would like rehearse this stuff and figure this out, but it's part of the charm of the whole thing. I'm gonna step to this side of the camera. So yeah, this piece is called Splendor, and it was actually included in Vivid Tranquility. But it is one of these very referential abstracts. So you really get a sense of the horizon line. And so this is kind of at Herring Cove, looking further south, and seeing the reflective light kind of hit the horizon as the sun's going down. So this one is 18 by 18. It's called Splendor. And it's just like that dazzling moment when the sky just changes and you're just captivated. So now the next pieces are all pieces that you probably have not seen. We'll start with this one. I'm just gonna adjust this again. So this is a smaller piece. It's 11 by 14. and it's called Twilight at Herring Cove. And I love the way this one came out. You know, sometimes the clouds and the water are very similar in color. So you can see that the horizon starts to disappear, which I love that when that happens because it just kind of feels like infinity. So that's Race Point off in the distance, and that's Herring Cove Beach, just going over the dune down to the beach. So this is that twilight. The sun has already gone down. This is typically what it looks like when I would go to meet my friends for a beach fire after working all day, kind of catch the tail end of the sunset. And so this piece, actually I took the photo for this just a couple weeks ago when I was at the beach with my friend Paul. So Paul's been my beach companion lately, and he'll meet up with me or he'll pick me up when I get off work, and we'll just go take in a little bit of serenity. So this one is called Twilight at Herring Cove. It's 11 by 14. And I'm gonna move on down the road unless there's some questions. Oh, hey Gilly. Tina, your new favorite. You have a lot of favorites. I love that. All right, so this piece is hopefully your next new favorite. This one is called, let's get this all in the camera here. It's a big piece. And why isn't this working the way it was in the run through? All right, I gotta go back a little more. Sorry, I don't know why this is stuck on zoom in. There we go. Jeez. I must have had butterfingers. So this piece is called, it's a large piece. It's 30 by 30, and it is called Sunstreak. And it's very gestural. I love the way that I just kind of quickly dabbled in the movement of the water. You can see how the light is hitting the clouds in the background. So you see some boats against the water. This is that kind of a harbor shot, so there's a lot of moorings. But the purple, I just love the color in this. Mary Ellen! Hey, Mary Ellen. So yeah, this piece is definitely the highlight of the show for me. And it's a large piece. Again, it's 30 by 30. So the problem is, once I expand out, I can't get it back. There we go. So, are you in Ohio, Mary Ellen, or are you out here on the Cape? Let me know, because if you're in town, we need to hang out with masks on. Oh my God, I was gonna tell everyone about my mask issues. I'll do that in a little bit. So anyway, this piece is 30 by 30. Any questions about this piece? Sunstreak. All right, we're gonna move on down the road. So I've marked the floor because I'm trying to make this so I don't expose everything at once and you see one piece at a time. So this piece is called Summer's End, and it's basically, why is this not? There we go. It's called Summer's End, and it's 16 by 16, and it's that part of the time of year when the moor's grass starts to yellow a little at the tops, you know, before it goes brown. And the sky is like lit. You can see the clouds are glowing from the sun going down behind. So this is looking like opposite of the sunset. And you can see how that pink starts to build at the horizon. So this is just looking across the moors out in the far west end of town. 16 by 16. Well, thank you, Mark. Yeah, I'm loving these pieces. So this is called Summer's End. I want to keep saying Summer's Eve, which is so gross. Oh, it's a good thing I can crack myself up. All right, I'm gonna move on down. Unless anyone has any questions, let me look real quick. Tessa, I love it when you watch from Paris. You have to stay up late to do that, so I appreciate it. Moving on down here, so this piece is a sunset, and this is called Indian Neck Sunset. And wait, what's going on here? Oh, Mary Ellen's not here. So this is Indian Neck Beach, which is actually in Wellfleet. It's just south of Wellfleet Harbor. It's kind of like this little inlet. So it's gorgeous the way it's set up. My friend Paul discovered this place. I had not been to it. And he dragged me down for a sunset recently. And so there's like this landmass out here on the right and on the left, and then you can kind of see more of the bay beyond. And it is just beautiful the way that the sun almost just dropped right between the two. And the water was just kind of ripply. It was gorgeous that night. So I wanted this to just be really kind of a simple expression of that, that moment. So Summer's Eve is for goddesses, yes. Not to mention Eve Summers, so had to get that in there. So yeah, this piece is 24 by 24, and so it's also as large as the first one that we saw. And again, it's Indian Neck Sunset. So I was really happy that Paul turned me onto that beach. I'll be going back. So let's move on down. I kind of feel like I'm on The Price is Right the way I say that. Come on down. All right. So this piece is called Clearing for a Sail. And this was, oh my gosh, so a little story. This photo, can I get in here? So this photo, I don't know where the camera is. This photo that I did this from was one I took my very first summer living here. And it was so weird when I got here because the sun rises like at 4:45 a.m. sometimes in the summer. And you've really got to get up. But when I was living in Ohio before moving here, I was doing this thing where I lived on top of this hill in Cincinnati that had this beautiful view down a river, and it was kind of where the sun rose every day. So I took photographs every day, posted to my Instagram, and it was the hashtag Powerless Over Sunrises. In fact, you could put that hashtag in Instagram now and see all those shots because no one's really been using that hashtag. And you'll probably see this shot because this was I was still doing that daily sunrise photo. And Tina, you know what that's like because my friend Tina does that up Cape a bit, and beautiful shots. So anyway, I would get up really early to go shoot, and it was this really weird dark morning. And there was just this like break in the clouds and the sun came through and it was incredible. So I took tons of photos, but this is the one I decided to paint. And I just love, kind of the sky starts to look angry, you know, a little ominous, but then there's just this like glimpse of light. And so this one is called Clearing for a Sail, because there was a lone sailboat moored out there, as you can see. Oh, and you can see the trademark water tower that's on the east end of town. There's one up by my house too, in the central area. So, any questions? Yeah, you do remember those daily sunrises. From Ohio. So I'm going to move on down to this next. I'm going to stop saying that. I'm going to move the camera so you can see the next image. So this little painting is 11 by 14. It's a little more representational than the others. Do you paint these live or from photos? Mary Beth. Hey, Mary Beth. So I paint from photos. I put I posted a couple pictures recently of me painting, and you can see the iPad kind of strung up to the top of my easel so that I can use it for reference. But I use photos that I take because I have to have like an emotional connection to the image. So this is a photo, painted from a photo that I took recently. Some friends of mine have a boat that they keep at Flyers, and so as we were mooring and just looked up towards the town, there was just this beautiful little red sailboat, and the way the light was hitting it, it was just really a sweet moment. So I took photos and ended up painting that. So this one is called All Tied Up, and it's basically 11 by 14. Smaller piece, again, more representational. Thank you, Mary Ellen. So I'm gonna move the camera to the next and the last new piece that I'm sharing. So this piece is called Sunrise Flats. I have the floor marked with all these little spots of tape that show me where to put this, and that's what I'm doing. So this one is called Sunrise Flats, and this was also from that period where I was taking those daily sunrises when I first moved here, the summer of 2014, and so this is looking across those flats in the east end of town, and there's a few little piles of rocks that they put out kind of to break the current when it's higher tide, and this is low tide, so you can start to see how the sandbars begin to come up. But this was just beautiful, the way the light played across all of those little sections of wetness. So some of the areas are like very shallow, but just glowing with the light. So this is 16 by 16, and it's called Sunrise Flats. So that is the whole show. Now I'm going to see if I can do this thing where I can show you, which I did not plan out, a shot where you see all of the pieces lined up. I don't know how far back I'm going to have to get. Well, you can't see them all, but it's pretty close. So yeah, I loved the way that these all lined up. See, it changes the exposure when I step into it, but I just feel like it hung really well. So that's really a nice thing for a gallerist when things come together like that. So I am going to shift this camera over to another little spot and just talk to you for a minute and see whether or not there's any comments that I needed to answer. So that's what I'm doing now while you're looking at my wrinkly neck. So yeah, all of these are up on my website. That link is in the description of this video, so you can just click there and it takes you to the fine art part of my online store. So I'm just scrolling through, and it looks like I saw most of the comments as they came up. So anyway, I loved sharing this work with you, and I did mention, I don't have to squat. So I did mention earlier that I was going to tell you about a little mask issue that I had, just because that's the way I am. 2 weeks ago when I was doing this broadcast, I had to put makeup on my nose because I had maskne. I don't know if anyone has had maskne, but it's acne that you get from wearing a mask. And I swear at 61 years old to have like a broken out nose was like freaky. But I've been trying to relieve like how much time I wear the mask, and I've been washing my nose more frequently during the day, and it's like TMI, but I just want to know, is anyone else having these issues? Like, it's crazy. Jeez. So that's my complaints about masks. So my next live feed is going to be on Saturday, October 10th. So instead of it being a Friday night, you will tune in on a Saturday night. And I typically always did that with my openings later in the season because it became more of a weekend visitor. And Friday night, people are still traveling into town, and then I would have a live reception. So I really still set it up that way, and I don't know, if it matters to anyone. If you guys all feel like Fridays are better, I can switch it. But I am going to hold it at this point to Saturday, October 10th at 7. And I have kind of a title of the show floating out there that's called The Nature of Things, and I'm not really sure what that is. I've been so busy, and I had kind of a spark of an idea, I think, when I came up with the title, but I think things have evolved for me. So the title may change. I'm gonna take a week and just kind of chill after getting to this point of the summer and be re-inspired and then begin the work. So that will still give me, I think, 4 weeks because that's a long ways off. That's Columbus Day weekend. And so it'll be called, hopefully, The Nature of Things, and it'll be some new things. I always want to mention the P-Town Gallery Stroll. So, ta-da! You want to tune into this every week on Friday because every gallery that's involved with this, we put up all new works, and it's pretty amazing to see it all switch out every week. So this week, when you go on the P-Town Gallery Stroll, you will see the painting called Summer's End. That's the one that I featured. And to do those features, I have been uploading videos to my YouTube channel so that that can be picked for this website. So because of this, I've created a YouTube channel, which I'd never had before. So I just wanted to make everyone aware that you can go to my website, and if you go to this little icon down here, the YouTube icon, and click on it, it will take you to my YouTube channel. And I'm going to continue to put content up on here, even like when I'm not doing these live feeds. But you can see all the close-up videos that I've done of various images that have been included in the P-Town Stroll. But then you can also see some time lapses that I've posted of me actually doing the work, which is fun. And I am going to try to figure out how to extract maybe some of these videos and get them on there. I'm not sure if that's even possible, but I'm going to, in the off season, really develop this channel. I may even do some instructional things where you can see how I do some of this stuff, and that will also put me in the frame of mind to begin to think about teaching and whether or not I can put together like a curriculum around certain aspects of what I do. So that's exciting. So Thea, the gallery stroll, it's called ptowngallerystroll.com. So here's the URL, and it basically is 30 plus galleries of us here in Provincetown. So they're all Provincetown galleries. We banded together to create this virtual scroll because we couldn't do the Friday night stroll that we've been doing historically, because of social distancing, and at that point, we didn't even know if we were gonna be able to open. So now we can open, and some galleries have had some live events, but you're very limited to how many people can come in, and I haven't done that. I've continued to just do my events this way because it makes a lot more sense for me, being a one-man band and not having someone to kind of police the door and all the rest, and I can actually take you through the work individually, and I think a lot more people are actually able to see my work this way, so I'm enjoying that. So anyway, if there isn't any other further questions, I think I've gotten through everything that I wanted to, and I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in over and over every time, and this has been great. So stay tuned, more to come.